check out the timing variations on the hi-hat. Those are not programmed into the pattern. This is real-time modulation of trigger position. You make that using the phase parameter of flux. Phase parameter is the perfect tool to get the exact timing for your triggers. But your attention please, total timing control doesn't mean that the triggers are synced to the beat. That's just the easy part. Phase divides the length of a given step into 360 degrees. And you can decide or modulate in which of those 360 possible positions flux generates the trigger. That's real power in your hands. As you turn the encoder, the little window inside the display will show the trigger position for that step. With a maximal length of 16 steps and 360 degrees per step, you have a real accuracy of 5,760 positions per pattern. In all examples, we have an extremely simple pattern, so that the effect of phase on the hi-hat is clearly noticeable. Bass drum on steps 1 and 5, that's the green lane on data. Snare on steps 3 and 7, that's the blue lane on data. And hi-hat on all 8 steps, that's the red lane on data. Macro knob 3 is assigned to shift the phase of all hi-hat steps in the yellow modulation bus. In this first pattern, the 8 hi-hat steps are active and they will be phase shifted. Listen carefully now and take a look at the bass drum snare hi-hat alignment on data as I shift the phase of the hi-hat. And don't forget that we are not editing the pattern. We are modulating the timing of some events, this leading to changes in the feeling of the pattern. Set all modulation to 0 and we get back to the original pattern. Let's shift the phase again. When I speak about phase or phase shifting, I don't mean an audio effect at all. The phase parameter on flux controls the exact position of a trigger event in a range of 360 possible locations within each step. Now we go to the mighty Evolve modulation engine. Here we assign a LFO to modulate the full range of the phase value per step. A VCA controls the modulation depth. The level of this VCA is assigned to the macro knob 4. So turning this knob clockwise increases the depth of the random modulation of the phase parameter. Because of the randomly modulated phase, some hi-hat triggers may sound off, but very alive, almost too human. It's up to you to decide which steps are modulated and how deep. Modulation sources can be added or subtracted. While the macro knob 4 controls the depth of the random LFO per step, macro knob 3 still applies an offset to the phase of all steps. We can combine the effect of both knobs and get new rhythmical variations. Macro knob 2 multiplies the trigger density from 1 to 3. Again, this is not pattern editing, this is real-time modulation. And back to the original unmodulated pattern. Let's try some combinations of density, phase and random LFO. We keep using the same basic pattern, but now the hi-hat steps 1 and 5 are assigned to the purple modulation bus and remain unchanged. That means that only the yellow triggers will be modulated. Remember, only the yellow steps are modulated. The purple ones are always triggered at the exact beginning of this step. The combination of tight and loose feeling timing is very nice and goes beyond what the classical drum machines can do. And back to the original pattern. In the final part, we will modulate steps 1, 3, 5 and 7. Again, the yellow ones. The purple ones remain unchanged. Modulation settings and amounts are the same as in the previous section. And Flux gives you a wonderful combination of tight and humanized triggers. I chose offset and LFO modulation for ease of use, but you can absolutely program the exact amount of phase for each individual step of each of the 4 trigger channels. You have full control over the timing. One of the many incredible features of Flux is that most parameters can be programmed per step. So different steps can have completely different settings. A pattern is only the start point for many possible variations. Or not. It's up to you. And let me say it again. We are not editing the pattern. We are modulating the pattern. We can get back to the original pattern at any moment. No need to reload the pattern. And this is what Flux is all about. Time Modulation Synthesis, or TMS. Play with the time, modulate the time, change the time, not the events.